Welcome back to our channel where we take a look at some of the most popular private jets and helicopters and dive into their features. The aircraft we are looking into shocked the world when it was launched. Why? Because it was the only business jet in its category that offered 3 completely separate cabin areas. Yes, it is the Legacy 600 from the aircraft manufacturing company Embraer. This private jet got a pretty good reception from private jet enthusiasts around the world. So what does it cost to own this revolutionary designed aircraft? That's what we're going to look at today. Before we get on to that, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. It helps us a lot with the YouTube algorithm and lets us know that we are helping to enrich lives out there. If you are into aviation, have a look at our new aviation compilation channel, Aviation Central. It is the first link in the description. We would highly appreciate it. And without any further ado, let's get on to the video. Morphing a commuter jet into a bizliner is no easy task. But Embraer has succeeded with the Legacy 600. The aircraft is based on the wildly successful and rugged EMB 135, a 37-seat commuter jet. When introduced in 2002, the Legacy offered a simple value proposition, a capacious cabin on par with that of a Gulfstream GV, and for half the price. Embraer came up with the idea of turning a commercial jet into a private one after researching the market, which showed them that there would be sufficient demand for a business jet variant of the ERJ 135. However, Embraer's research had also shown that the ERJ 135 would need significant upgrades if it wanted to effectively compete with Gulfstream or Bombardier, and looking at their product, you can say they did an excellent job. This aircraft, which falls into the super mid-size category, was first launched at the Farnborough Air Show in 2000, and then it entered into service in April 2002. The model was originally announced as the Legacy 2000, and the model name Legacy 600 was not adopted until 2005. The aircraft is currently being operated in more than 24 countries across the world. It is available in 2 versions, which include the Legacy Executive and Legacy Shuttle. BS Jets, a Czech Republic carrier, was one of the early customers of the aircraft, which received its first Legacy 600 aircraft in July 2004. Production ended in 2015 with a total of 175 Legacy 600 aircraft built. The Legacy 600's cabin stands out above the rest. It is completely tailored with the business world in mind. It is the first and only comparable jet with 3 separate cabin zones to increase productivity on the road, so to speak. 6-foot-tall ceilings allow plenty of room to stand up and maneuver about the cabin. The cabin length measures 42.4 feet, while the width is 6.9 feet max. Compared with the super mid-sized crowd, the Legacy's cabin is 60% larger, measuring 1,410 cubic feet. The 600 is normally configured for 13 passengers and 4 standard seating arrangements. The typical executive cabin features, of course, the 3 zones. And how are these zones arranged? A forward galley and closet. The galley is in a class of its own, featuring some awesome amenities like a cutting board, microwave, refrigerator, and much more. Then there are 4 large executive seats arranged in a facing group sharing 2 fold-out tables, 4 slightly smaller seats with a conference table and an opposite-facing credenza, and an aft stateroom area with 2 more large single seats, a fold-out table, and an opposite-facing divan or couch. The divan is available with a berthing top that slides out to create a comfortable sleeping surface. For optimal comfort and enjoyment, cabin amenities include 2 17-inch flat-screen monitors, DVD players with individual controls, and seats that fully recline. 22 large windows and full LED lighting make the cabin feel exceptionally spacious. Make sure to watch to the end as we will dive a bit into this business jet right now and a deep analysis of owning cost. Powerful engines, innovative modern technology, and great manufacturing mean high performance comes easy to the Legacy 600. The Legacy's Rolls-Royce engines were tweaked to provide more power for a total of up to 7,987 pounds of thrust each. So this aircraft has a breathtaking amount of power at its disposal, you have to say. To extend the range, Embraer engineers added extra fuel tanks behind the baggage compartment and just in front of the wings. To make the aircraft more fuel efficient, Embraer engineers added winglets to the end of the wings. On top of this, Embraer engineers would embark on a huge drag reduction program, which made it far more fuel efficient than the ERJ 135s. So what do all of these improvements mean to the statistics of Legacy 600? It got a maximum cruising speed of 460 knots and can fly a maximum of 3,250 nautical miles. This gives the Legacy 600 the ability to cross the Atlantic with ease. Its certified flight ceiling is 41,000 feet. Trailing link landing gear allows for superior consistency in landing. being available in either a Legacy Executive configuration or a Legacy Corporate Shuttle configuration. The Legacy 600 can be personalized to your needs and tailored to your passenger capacity requirements. Overall, the aircraft is 86 feet 5 inches long and 22 feet 2 inches high. The wingspan is almost 69 feet. And if you want to keep this airplane stored under a roof with any kind of space for automobiles and aircraft tugs, you'll need a 10,000 square foot hangar, and depending on where you base, those can be hard to come by. Another thing is when you are flying private, the last thing you want is to be bothered by the noise of the aircraft or the engine specifically. With the improvement of Embraer, their customers aren't bothered by any kind of noise. The Legacy 600 is far quieter than its competitors, allowing it to be one of the few large business jets that can be flown to many noise-restricted airports that its competitors simply can't be flown to. As we are entering the last part of the video, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Now to the part you are eagerly waiting for. What does it cost to own Legacy 600? Acquisition cost for the 600 typically ranges from $13.2 million to $13.4 million, over $10 million cheaper than the Gulfstream G450, and more than $4 million than the Falcon 900EX. Both of these aircraft are the Legacy 600's direct competitors. For older Legacy 600s, built in the 2000s, the average jet currently retails for between $4.5 and $5.5 million, depending mostly on their flight hours and the year they were built. For newer Legacy 600s, built in the 2010s, the number can go up to $6 to $7.5 million. Like any other aircraft, the total annual budget of Legacy 600 depends on the number of hours flown. As this aircraft falls into the super midsize category, the amount tends to cross the $1 million threshold. Like if you are a heavy flyer that crosses the line of 400 hours, you can be looking at a budget of around $1 million. If your flying time is around 200 hours annually, then the budget of around $1.5 million would be a ballpark. So, if you have a private jet, you have to think of storing it. You have three options: park it in your garage, in a hangar, or simply tie it down outside. Now, putting a $1 million machine outside doesn't seem that logical. So if you have your private jet parking, then cheers. But most people go for hiring an airport hangar. It'll cost you around $70,000 to put your Legacy 600 in a hangar. To ensure a proper voyage like a millionaire or billionaire, you need a crew, which is why the crew salary is a significant one. And who falls into the crew category? Personnel who will be assisting you to have a proper flight, like pilots and flight attendants. And there isn't any specific number for crew salary because it fluctuates significantly depending on region, aircraft type, and certification requirements. Whether the aircraft is flying or not, the crew will need to be paid their salaries. In the case of Legacy 600, you can be looking at an amount of around $300,000 as crew salary. Now, as you are hiring crews, you also need to ensure that they are properly trained for the sake of your own assets' wellness. They are integral to the safe and efficient operation of your aircraft, so having well-trained crew members is quite important. It can cost you around $50,000 annually. To be able to fly your Legacy 600 whenever you want and wherever you want, you have to ensure that it is in tip-top condition. And to ensure that condition, your aircraft has to go under proper maintenance. For a safe flight, your aircraft requires maintenance from time to time, and the interval depends on the manufacturer's guidelines and also on the number of hours flown. So to keep your Legacy 600 in a good condition, you can be looking at a maintenance cost of around $75,000. Now, even if it's your aircraft, you can't be around it 24/7, can you? But you also have to make sure that your aircraft is being managed properly. And how do you do that? An aircraft management team. They'll provide all the necessary services required to fly the aircraft. Now, even if there is the option of so-called self-management, as a multimillionaire, you have so much to take care of. This is why this option is rarely selected, and you spend around $80,000 so that your Legacy 600 is managed properly. So whenever you are landing at an airport with your Legacy 600, you are using the airport property, and which is why you have to pay something called landing fees. Now, this fee can vary according to airports and how busy it is. Landing fees typically cost between $150 and $500. However, busy airports can charge into the thousands of dollars area. Liability insurance provides cover against loss, damage, or injury to third parties. Third parties in this case include passengers, cargo, and baggage. On the other hand, whole insurance policies are agreed upon on a value basis. That is the value of the aircraft. Therefore, in the event of a total loss, insurers will pay the agreed value as opposed to the current market value. So for your Legacy 600, you can be looking at an insurance cost of around $30,000. Business jets offer passengers the opportunity to work when they are flying. Just try having a confidential conversation on a commercial flight. But passengers increasingly want to connect with others on the ground. Several operators offer to provide customers with air-to-ground Wi-Fi connectivity. The actual amount varies based on operator and region, ranging from $3 to $8.50 per gigabyte. For longer flights, onboard meals are often a necessity. Specialized catering services offering a variety of fares from light snacks to fine dining are often available for charter flights for an additional fee. This fee can vary greatly depending on the quantity and caliber of food and beverages desired. For Legacy, the amount can be somewhere around $40,000 to $50,000. Imagine you flying full house every time. Well guys, that's it for this video. Click the links above to check out some of our other videos. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. We have many great videos coming up. See you in the next video.